All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to BayernNow, the ultimate Bayern Munich fan channel. So, I have had an opportunity to digest the game. I've analyzed the tactics in the game. I've analyzed the comments after the game, the reactions after the game. And I love it. I love and I think I deserve. Of course, I do. I think before the game, 70% of the people on a certain app, where over maybe 300,000 people voted, said Barcelona would win the game outrightly. I think there was a 3% that said a draw would happen, and I don't know, a smaller percentage. I can't do math right now, maybe 27%, 17%, something like that. They said Bayern would win. And, to them, congratulations. You won. Before the game, the narrative was Bayern aren't in form. Barcelona, clearly better than Bayern right now. Barcelona is coming off a 5-1 win versus Pilsen. They're coming off a very good performance versus Cadiz. They're coming off, I don't know. They're doing well. They're doing their thing. I think they're, 8 games in or 18 games and they haven't lost or something like that. I don't remember the record. And that's including last season, of course. In preseason, they performed well. They looked very good. The new players, the new narrative now after they lost to Bayern in interesting fashion where they controlled the game for the first half. And then the second half, we pushed for it. And as soon as we got the goal, we started doing things. But people think Barcelona just dominated us. Bro, we had a few chances, right? Sabitz's, shot from outside the box. I think the problem with Bayern is we would get forward, right? Sometimes we would, play a long ball over Barcelona's pressure, hold it up nicely, and then we'd be attacking their back line, and then Mane loses the ball, or Thomas Muller's pass is just, I don't know. And that was our problem. And I think that's sharpness. It's sharpness, rhythm, and we need it back. I do not blame Nagelsmann for that. I think Nagelsmann is telling the players we need to play interesting and play well. He's telling the players what they need to do. He's given them the instructions. Now, I'm going to tell you something very interesting, or I suppose show you something very interesting. And this is going to change your mind on a lot of things. So here we go. These are the places we're creating chances this season. I saw this video on Tifo IRL. The Athletic gathered all our chances this season. These are our chances. Look where our chances are coming from. We don't have a striker anymore, a big striker who can move in the box and maneuver defenders. We don't have that. What we have is a bunch of players that are fluid. How does that look to you? So we have had 103 shots this season, 18 goals, 15.9 GA. So it's not like, or expected goals, it's not like we're just shooting and just, people were saying before the game, Bayern just spam shots. They don't deserve their goals. And I'm like, if you look at the XG, we're only outperforming it by 3. So we should have scored the amount of goals, or almost should have scored the amount of goals we're scoring. We have 18 goals and an XG of 16, essentially, 15.9. Look at where the shots are coming from, the chances, the center, right? The edge of the box, quick interchanges, quick play. Now, what's our biggest problem right now? In the final third, what we'll have is a player gets the ball and he rushes his decision. And I know why. Nagelsmann's telling these players, hey, we don't have a striker, so what we're going to need to do to win games is play quickly around the box and score that way. So the goal against Inter Milan that Leroy Sané got ended up being an own goal is a perfect example of that. Sané gets the ball, stops, pass to Coman, runs, pass to Coman, Coman passes back, goal. And it all starts from the center. And the way we set up, Sabitz's on this inside right channel, Mane's here, Muller's next to Sabitzer, and then someone's out wide, whether that's Kingsley and Pavard's back here creating a back 3. Kimmich and Sabitzer are keeping that balance in midfield. Davies is hugging the touchline. If it's not Davies, sometimes it's Sané, and then Musiala is inside a little bit. So we're packing those lines. And I would love to see more variety, more cutbacks, I think we can create a few more opportunities like that. The Tell goal versus Stuttgart, perfect example. Davies gets a long pass from Kimmich, goes inside. Now the cutback comes from here, but it still starts from a pass that goes out wide to Davies, who's running in, and then he cuts it back to Tell on the, semi-edge of the box. So that's where our chances are coming from this season. Would love more variety, but that tells you a big story that Bayern are rushing play in the central areas because we are being coached to do that. And when it works, it looks beautiful. But sometimes it leads to players making quick decisions, and therefore the passes, underweight, overweight, slightly behind the player. And that's why you're seeing, Mane gets the ball and he tries to, and then the ball doesn't come off the way it should. That's why, because we have no choice but to create chances this way. But I think we can do variety. With Noose proving that, he's not just only good at attacking, but also defending. He gives us a very good option. Or actually, I think you should start over Pavard. That performance, Hall of Fame performance, man. There was a shot where Lewandowski was literally shooting and came up behind him. A great tackle. Noose has to start the next game. I think with his attributes, he can come inside and invert. He's an Ajax player. His football intellect is through the roof. He can come in and invert here. And then, more importantly, we can have someone out wide who links with him when he does go in between the half spaces and runs in, and then he can do a cutback. I think we can create a lot of moments like that, especially in that wide region, or he can just overlap, put in good crosses, and this is where we have to train our attacks or our attackers to do a similar rhythm to Liverpool. Not the whole spamming Trent, crossing every 2 minutes thing, but you know how Trent will just be here and he'll just pick out a pass. It's very consistent as much as he spams it a lot, the same cross. You just get like a Mane in here and it's a goal, right? We need to, train that rhythm as well as playing through the center, add more variety into our game. I think we will rely on set pieces. De Ligt, good in the air. Lucas has proven that he's hungry for a goal, hungry in the box. So we can try to get goals from set pieces, add variety. But it's beautiful that our goals are coming in through the center. And I thought that graphic showed a lot. So yesterday we were poor in the first half. I will agree that Barcelona could have probably gotten a penalty. Lucas Hernandez said it himself that it could have been a little penalty. I agree. But where you're getting this wrong is when people say, Barcelona went unrewarded with their performance. And I'm like, no, Nagelsmann's changes were rewarded. It's not our fault that Barcelona didn't capitalize on their chance. The real reward for Barcelona was for them to score. That would have been the reward for their performance. They didn't score, so they didn't go unrewarded. They just didn't take the reward, right? They're supposed to be the ones that get their own reward by scoring the chances they had. Now, another thing is the chances they had, Pedri, the first one, where he kind of went around Pavard, good shot with his left foot. I'd say that was a Neuer save over a Pedri miss. I'd say it was closer to Neuer getting in a good position, getting down low with his foot. And that's it. Like, what was Pedri supposed to do? Pedri did everything he needed to do. He picked the shot well. It wasn't straight at Neuer, but it was just enough where Neuer could have gotten low with his foot. In any other situation, Neuer's foot, barely misses that, or he touches it and it still goes in. So Neuer did well to, be in that position. The cross from Alonso to Lewandowski, where he headed it down, it was a half chance. I wouldn't say that's a full chance because, Neuer's there. He makes himself big and just kind of gets the ball away. I wouldn't call that a big chance. I'd call that, half chance. The chance with the volley for Lewandowski, right? He has pressure from Upamecano and Lucas Hernandez. He should have probably scored that. He scored a lot of those goals before. So That's a big chance that he missed. And then you got the Rafinha shots, which outside the box, any other day, one goes in, one doesn't. It happens, right? But even in that first half, we had a shot, Sabitzer outside the box. That could have been on target. It could have been a goal. Because literally, I don't think Ter Stegen even dived. He just didn't know anything about that. So that's the first half. The second half, Bayern make the changes. And I'm not just talking about changing players, but the tactical shifts we made where Noose inverted higher and Sané stretched the back line and Mane stretched his side. And then it opened up bigger spaces for Musiala to move in between the lines, for Thomas Müller to move and have more time on the ball. Barcelona's press resembled something Man City do, where a midfielder joins and it's like a four, like you have two people pressing center backs. And then if you have a double pivot, you'll have the two DMs. So one of the midfielders joins with one of the strikers, and then they press the center backs. They alternate. If the center back has the ball, one player goes and the other guy goes when the other guy gets the ball. So it's very effective against a team like ours where we have a double pivot. If we had a three-man midfield, it'd be very hard. They'd probably still go man-to-man. But what that meant was because Busquets and Gavi and Pedri were basically joining in the pressure, they were going to leave someone free in between the lines, because if the center back comes out, there's a good run that could be made in behind. So the center backs would stay, and Musiala or Müller would have a good chance to play. And now, we didn't capitalize enough on that. What we needed to do was quick switches from one end of the field to the other, one side to the other. Get the ball to Neuer, ball over the top to, Noose or Pavard or Davies, dependent on which side Barca's pressure was most imminent. We did try to do a lot of long balls, which ended up working because Müller, I don't know why, Müller of all people, who's never really been the, hold up target man, he kept winning every header against Araujo. So Müller would win the header and then he'd pass it off and Musiala would run in. And then the problem would come where we would rush our decisions and not create anything. Barcelona's pressure, very high risk, high reward, because they ended up winning the ball a few times in our half. And yeah, it was basically, it was a chess game, if you ask me. Xavi knew exactly how to play against our double pivot. He shut down Kimmich in the first half, right? Kimmich, I said it before the preview or in the preview. If you want to stop our teams from playing, we got to stop Pedri from playing, and they got to stop Kimmich from playing. Yesterday, we did a poor job of stopping Pedri from playing because Pedri sets the tempo for Barcelona's games. It used to be Busquets with, he was always on the ball, dropping in. But now Pedri has taken that responsibility. He can come back, switch play, dribble, hold the ball, alleviate pressure. And yeah, I think Pedri he can mold himself. Honestly, I know it sounds weird, but Pedri reminds me of Thiago in, he's so technically advanced. He thinks two steps ahead, like not in terms of position, of course, but responsibilities on the field. Thiago had the role of controlling our games and, getting us out of pressure situations. I think in that game yesterday, if we had Thiago, he's turning on pressure. Like, I don't care if, Barca's pressing, he would be turning on Gavi's press and Busquets' press. He'd be doing it because he's Thiago. He has the technical IQ to do that. I think in a game like that, we need Gravenberch too. I was screaming for him to come in very early in the second half. I was saying, let's take off Mane, bring on Gravenberch, move Musiala to the right wing. Müller just stays the lone striker. I know it's going to suck. And then move Sané to the left. I think what that would have done was give us Gravenberch in the midfield and Goretzka. So you have power and pace and just the strength. And then Kimmich can stay deeper and control the game. And then Gravenberch, when needed, can come deep, turn on pressure. He's the only midfielder we have with the technical IQ to do that. Sabitzer was getting cooked yesterday. How many times would Pedri or Dembele or Rafinha just cook him? Nutmeg him. I don't know. He didn't get nutmeg, but he did. In my mind, he did. He did get nutmeg. So, Yeah, it was a beautiful game of football. I think both managers really had something that they wanted to prove, and it was just beautiful. So I think, yeah, in a game like that, that's what I'm learning. I'm learning that we need, I think Ishmael Benassar would work so well at Bayern, man. His, he's just so press resistant. We need a press resistant midfielder, and in my opinion, it's Gravenberch. He's the only one with, that Ajax finesse. Something Frankie De Jong has, where they don't care how many players are around them. They just have that neat touch and the long legs to just get away from pressure. I think next season, Bayern's board did say we're gonna have money to spend. If we don't win the UCL, we're going to be looking at a press-resistant midfielder. I think Barcelona just had too many of those. Busquets is press-resistant. Pedri's press-resistant. Not sure about Gavi. I didn't see him, get through our pressure. He's more of a bulldog in midfield. He's the guy that presses, actually. So with Pedri and Busquets, you have two midfielders in a midfield three that can dribble through pressure. And Busquets is such a beautiful footballer, man. I'm not going to lie. I love Busquets because he doesn't even need to run. My man just sends his legs, does a nice little turn. That's it. Like, he's so good. Why can't we have that, man? Kimmich, he doesn't really dribble through pressure. He dribbles away from pressure. Like, he'll carry the ball away from pressure, and give himself a few more, yards to pass. But he never turns on it. And that's the difference. So I would love if we had a press-resistant midfielder. We need one. Camavinga does it for Real Madrid. Toni Kroos or Luka Modric does it. In big games where you have a team that can press, you need a player that can alleviate that. And we already have that. We just need to play him and find a way to fit all of them in a system that works. So, yeah, Gravenberch, man, even when he came on, look how Alphonso Davies played that game. Like, one of our brightest moments came from Davies. Like, he dribbled through Rafinha and just so good and used his pace, ran forward, opened up Barca, went through their pressure because he has the technical ability to do it and the IQ to know when to do it. So, I think Kingsley Coman might have, if you bring him deep, he might have, turned and dribbled through. Like, yeah, you just need that. You need that player. Musiala did it when he played in midfield last time we played Barcelona. Like, he would just turn and dribble. Like, there's certain players that just have it, that gene. Look, it's risky because what if you get dispossessed? But if it works, man, it looks beautiful, right? Bernardo Silva does it for Man City very well. Rodri doesn't really, do that like that, but he's capable of doing it. Neuer was too good. I'd say Neuer made like 4 mistakes, man. Gravenberch, Justice. Anyone else love Pavard? I think we should start Noose from now on, to be completely honest with you. Pavard's I don't know. Look, Pavard did his thing in games where, he has less, fast technical attackers to deal with. But when Pedri touched the ball on his side, I was scared. And every time it just looked like Pavard was just 2 steps behind. Because, look, the thing is, Pavard would be a really good fullback if he was just slightly faster. Like, if that man just had a little bit of pace about him, like, he has great composure on the ball. Like, do you really ever see Pavard? Because, he doesn't really take risk that often. He prefers to pass back and keep the game moving as opposed to losing the ball, taking a risk. I respect that. Look at Ishmael Benassar on the ball, man. Oh, that guy. I'm literally watching a game and talking and commentating about Bayern at the same time. I'm a professional. Come on, I'm enjoying this. Well, look, the preface for this show was for the next game. So when we play Barcelona, we have to be different. We have to think differently, and we have to play differently. We can't be making the rushy passes in between the lines. We can't be making the goalkeeper errors. Can't be passing to Lewandowski. If Upamecano wasn't there, that's a goal, right? Barcelona could have literally scored 3 in that first half. We can't be doing that. The second half, I feel like when we scored 2 goals, Nagelsmann was like, all right, look, it's Barcelona and they're really hungry. Let's just defend. They didn't really have a big chance apart from the Pedri miss where he hit the post. Apart from that, it was like we kind of just kept them at bay, kept them, doing shots. And, there was a point where towards the end of the game, Ansu Fati was trying to, curl a good, little shot. And it just never worked for them because we were just defending well. And we knew we had control of that game. And we decided to play on the transition. I don't think it was a thing where we respected them too much after we scored 2 goals. It was just we needed to manage the game, get out of there with 3 points, and go back to, fixing the issues in the team. Our issue isn't even defending anymore. The chances they had, we're going to, see those chances in big games. When you're playing good players, they're going to create chances for themselves. I'm okay with Barca having the chances they had, as long as, but what I'm not okay with is the chances they had coming at the expense of us not being able to do anything, coming at the expense of us not, playing out of the back correctly. So, yeah, I get it. They press, but we also press. We force them into errors. It was like we were press. Like, it was so funny. Like, they press us, we make a mistake. We press them, Busquets would give the ball away, and then we wouldn't, make any chances out of it. So we need to fix that for the next game. So I think the narrative in the next game will be, we were better than you in your own stadium. We're going to win now. And look, I get it. Camp Nou is your stadium, but it's also not like a fortress. Like, teams have beat you there before. We beat you there before. It's not like that fortress. It's a good stadium. I mean, the Spotify stadium. We'll be building a diss track, making diss tracks against you in your own stadium, the Spotify stadium. But, we'll be uploading performances, We'll be doing well. I think in that game, Mane should be in form. If he's not, Tell can start, dude. I'm not going to lie. The way Mane's playing, I don't even understand how you can justify not playing Gnabry over him, to be honest, because they're both doing the same thing, just losing the ball. So it's a new role for Mane, but at the same time, I think Mane lost explosiveness. So I was really skeptical when I saw that Musiala won man of the match. I was like, Lucas should have won it. Then I watched the game back. Musiala made some good passes to Mane, but Araujo always got in front of him because Mane lost explosiveness. I don't know if you remember this, but Sadio Mane used to be faster than Mo Salah. He used to just explode out of nowhere and run quick. Maybe that's why Klopp started playing him centrally, because he lost pace, dude. Oh my gosh. I don't know if it's lost pace or Araujo is just so big and fast, which I doubt, because, he's not the fastest center back in the world, is he? He's fast, but, but Mane looks slow, dude. And I would also, believe it's down to Mane and not Araujo, because Mane has done that in other games. Bro, he lost some explosiveness. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that pace ain't there no more, or not there. He's still fast, but it ain't the same fast, man. It's a different fast. It's like fast. It's not fast. You know what I'm saying? All right. So I'll say, Mane needs to be informed. I think our attack will flow a little bit better. Even though it flows, when we score, it looks great, but we need to be able to manage our attacks, pick our moments better, and that comes with time. Nagelsmann is doing really well to change games through substitutions, and sometimes people hate his subs. Sometimes they're like, great substitutions, great changes. I think when you're a manager like Nagelsmann, you always want to be flexible and change the games in different ways and give the opponent something to think about. I think the reason Nagelsmann has us playing this 4-2-3-1 over the system that worked at the beginning, the 4-2-2-2, is so our players can get used to, doing different things on the field at any given moment. That's going to make us very flexible, but it's also going to mean players might be confused sometimes. If something else is working and they're having to switch to a different system, they're going to be like, yo, we were playing well. Why are you changing this? So we'll see, man. I think Lucas should be back, hopefully. And yeah, it's just really important for us to keep our heads high and have fun. Upamecano, De Ligt, for the next few weeks. We'll build a partnership. And Upamecano says, I knew exactly what Robert was doing so we could contain him. He's a world-class player. Lucas and I were 100% focused right up to the last second. And that's great. I hope he does that every game, dude. I hope he does that every game. I'm excited, man. I'm excited for the future, for the next few weeks. I think we have a DFB Pokal game before Barcelona, if I'm not mistaken, right? So we have an opportunity to rotate. Yeah. So, nice. Actually, on October 19th, we can rotate, and against Hoffenheim, we'll probably rotate. Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, the key thing about this game is I think Barcelona rested more players for the Bayern game than we did. That could explain why it took us, a while to get into the rhythm. Because, some players played the game before. Kimmich played. Neuer played. Pavard didn't play, but Noose did, right? De Ligt played. Upa played. Davies played. It's like almost our entire team played versus Stuttgart. Kimmich played. Goretzka, who ended up coming in, played. Musiala played. Muller played. So it's like, a majority of our team played. But Barca's first team, they rotated like 9 players. Like that started. Levy didn't start. So y'all had extra practice. You had extra energy. And you still couldn't beat us when we didn't play that bad. I love our defense. I can't lie. Would I rather have Rudiger? Maybe. Rudiger over who? Nah, Rudiger ain't. He's such a he's so one-dimensional. I think Rudiger is so overrated. Like, he's good in a back 3, but play him in a back 2 and he starts looking suspect. So Pavard is a center back and Noose as the starting right back, who says no. I think Pavard is probably going to keep starting. If Noose doesn't start, Nagelsmann needs to really look at himself, because it'd be disrespectful for him to have that performance and not start. So, all right. Oh, by the way, I mean, there's a video going around where Levy didn't hug Muller. Bro, it's because they talked before the game. Right? I would assume. I would assume that. All right. Benjamin Pavard and Daya Upamecano. Only slight knocks. Will resume training soon. I think the team is off, actually. So they're off today. He's hiding some. I don't know who we're talking about. Yeah, where's Rahimi? where are the Barca fans on the channel? Bayern fan attendance, for those asking. How many was it? So that stadium looked packed. Yeah, because the UEFA rule changed, so you can actually stand. I didn't know that was even a thing. You couldn't stand before in Champions League games. George Nagelsmann out? You out of your mind, dude. I don't want Nagelsmann out. The fact that he made those changes is beautiful. It's very beautiful. Bambi was bussing down the Catalans yesterday. Well, actually, I just saw a tweet, about Musiala and Pedri. Bro, why are football fans like this? Do you not see that Musiala and Pedri? I mean, I'd say I understand why you look at both of them and go, oh man, that Pedri, they're almost kind of the same. Good dribbling, good skill. But dude, they don't really play the same roles for their teams. Look where Pedri was picking the ball up. Sometimes in between their center backs, deep. Musiala is our attacker. Like, he's He's out here getting assists, like getting goals. If you look at their stats, how many goals does Pedri have this season? Right? 0 Champions League, 1 La Liga. Like, bro, you're comparing apples to oranges. I mean, well, I think there are different players. Pedri is a bowler. Don't get me wrong. Musiala is a bowler. Don't get me wrong. And people are always going to compare bowlers to bowlers, but they don't. It's kind of a weird comparison because Musiala can play left wing. Pedri can do that too, but he doesn't do it. You don't see Pedri playing as a striker. You don't see Pedri scoring goals because that's not his job. Why are you comparing this? Why are you making these comparisons? I'll say Pedri's passing range or passing accuracy or precision in passes is better than Musiala. But Musiala's 1v1s is better than Pedri's. Like that's the difference between the two players. Pedri is control the tempo of the game deeper. Musiala is score goals, go at defenders, create chances. That's the difference, man. To be fair, Pedri could have scored yesterday once or twice, actually. So I get it. It's football. You want to compare players, but I think if I was a manager, I'd probably have a Musiala and Pedri in the same team. It's like comparing Florian Wirtz to Havertz. Even though they kind of play the same kind of role, Havertz is more of a striker, like up front, whereas Wirtz can pick the ball up deeper. You know what I'm not making any sense. It's like comparing Müller and Lewandowski, right? Müller creates chances and can, come deeper and get the ball, create movements, and he sets the tempo for games. Lewandowski scores goals and holds the ball. It's very different. Like, even though they can do the same things, I think Musiala has played. He has played deeper. He absolutely bossed the game against Holland. He played well against England, and he's playing in deep roles for Germany and for Bayern last season when Kimmich, was out to the vaccine stuff. But he still played very well. Like, but the thing is, like, that's not his best position. Pedri's best position is as a number 8. Musiala's best position is 11, 10, those positions. But, people just don't get that. Musiala dribbling and bursting is better, but Pedri's vision and passing is much better. Yeah, there we go. That's the difference. That's the main difference. Musiala gets the ball and he wants to run at you. Pedri gets it and he wants to make the game keep going. But it's not like Musiala's passing is bad, but it's not like Pedri's dribbling is bad. That's why people compare them. They're just very similar in other ways. But thank you, everyone. And they're similar age, too. He is the definition of a forward. He can play across all, the positions across the front. All right, guys. I appreciate it, right? I appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. By the way, if you haven't done so, hit the like button. Also, we have been getting members recently. So, yeah, we have a few more members on the channel. And that's, in the last 72 hours. I appreciate y'all so much. It helps the channel, helps me pay for ESPN Plus so I can watch Bayern. And yeah, thank you. It really meant a lot. So if you haven't, and if you want to support the channel, the membership, it's 20% off the first month. Yeah, it's a great way to support the channel. You don't have to, right? It's just something I have to say every video now because people actually do it. And maybe if we get to a certain amount of members, a good amount, like maybe 30, I might, start doing members only live streams or videos or live chat, for certain things. But it wouldn't take away from these videos. In fact, if anything, the members are giving me a reason to make more. So, because someone's actually investing on the channel. So thank you everyone so much for watching. It's fun. I'm going to go watch the Leipzig Real Madrid game. But let me finish off with the Inter game, get some food, and 2 streams today. So I should have just made a video, huh? Yeah, I didn't even need to do a live stream. Sometimes, so one of the reasons I do these live streams is because I actually like a video takes longer to make. And I do like sharpening my speaking skills, just being live. So, and it's part of my other avenues in life requires me to be good at public speaking. So, yeah, so it's like I'm sharpening one tool and having fun at the same time talking about Bayern. There's a stream coming tomorrow. I might actually just make a video, to be honest. Live streams do take longer to set up, but videos can just be boom, 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 get it done. But yeah, thank you everyone so much for watching. Mia send me and peace. Here to be toxic. I love that.